So, the daily loop theory. This is something that I didn't came up until recently, and it was actually the summer of 2024. Let me tell you what happened. I just took access to another account that there was a person that was already running ads on Google, and it was successful there. It was a dropshipper. And he said, okay, I want to expand also to Facebook. I said, perfect, we already have proof that it's working, everything is going well, and let's try it there. And I started running ads, and then it was on Netherlands, which is a small country. Actually, if you don't know it, you can search it. I realized really fast in this ad account, which I still have access, and to be honest with you, it's one of the first videos that I'm video shooting for the course right now, because I don't want to lose this opportunity of having it. Basically, what I have seen is that whenever I was creating another campaign, I was actually seeing the cannibalization of the older campaign. So in the last 7 days, I would see that while it would give me with one campaign, let's say 8 sales, then in the last 7 days, if I put 2 campaigns, it would spend double the amount of money, as you can understand, and it would give me 4 and 4 sales, 5 and 3. It will give me 6 and 2. As we passed the time by, it was going to equalize and give me 4 and 4. So then I started forming this theory of the daily loop theory that actually explains that if Facebook doesn't want you to scale, it's going to give you exactly the same results, even if you're spending more. And because I'm working in all of my ad accounts with multiple campaigns, when you are working with many, it's not obvious. But when you are just working with only 1 or 2 campaigns or 3 campaigns and you start analyzing that, then it's very easy for you to spot. And then I started spotting it also with multiple campaigns because then I knew. So, what we're going to do here is that I'm going to fix your perception about the daily loop theory, and I'm going to prove it to you with another account that I have and showing you how it's working there and what happened there when we started scaling, when we stopped, we came back to normal results and all of that. You're going to see all of these different periods of that. The other thing that we're going to discuss though in the next chapter is going to be how can you break the daily loop theory and how can you go and you can scale more from the results that you are going to have if you're just pushing again and again and again the same creatives and the same products maybe, and Facebook doesn't let you to scale. So first, the proof. Let's go into my PC. Let me show you this ad account. Let's talk. And then let's analyze how you can overcome this, because I have done it several times and I know how you can break the daily loop and I know that it's working. And then I will explain to you also why it's working. So this is the ad account that I was talking to you about. Basically, we do have here starting, I don't know, where did we start here? On May 28th. Is the first campaigns that are starting, and I'm going to prove to you what I'm talking about when I talk about cannibalization. So in the first 7 days over here, we do see that we are having some very good results. As I told you, this is another account which is already operating with Google Ads, and we know we're going to get some good results because the product is proven. So we go from 7 to 14, just to see 22 sales. The thing that I want you to notice over here is that the amount of sales that we're getting on a weekly level, they're kind of the same and they play in between. So 8 to 15, we're going to see 22 sales again, 9 to 16, 19 sales, so we're seeing a little bit less, but these are totally fine. 21, so 19 to 22 so far. Let's continue. This is the point that I'm introducing another campaign. And I'm spending double the amount of money. This is something that some of you might have noticed in your e-commerce stores. For example, I'm spending more. Facebook says that I'm having X ROAS, for example, because here it shows 7.5 ROAS. But while I'm spending more, I'm still getting the same amount of sales. It's actually really stupid. 12 to 19, we're having, again, we're within 22, okay? Remember, 19 to 22, okay? This is what we're going to remember. 19 again in this day, but it's starting splitting the sales. Do you see? What am I doing here? I'm using the same creatives. The owner has never given me new creatives. To be honest with you, I didn't expect that by just spending another 200. On the other hand, it's Netherlands, it's a very small country, but I didn't expect by just spending another 200 that I'm going to have this problem. This ad account for me actually helped me to understand this. And then I started noticing it to more and more ad accounts while I was comparing the sales when I was having one campaign and then I was doing another campaign with the same creatives, and I realized that this is wrong and that I have to change that. So while I was working with multiple campaigns, I started now working with multiple campaigns. I was always working like this out of experience, but not because I have explained it, which is why you are here in this course, because we are trying to explain everything, okay? And here we are having this 18, okay, we dropped a little bit, but you get the point. 11, 7, 18 again. Eventually, it's going to break them in two, okay? So 22 sales again. So here I'm introducing another campaign because I'm stubborn and I don't understand. You can see here that our ROAS has dropped, and sometimes, you know, this is also the way for you to scale by maintaining the same ROAS, okay? If you want to maintain the same ROAS, so you have two paths in scaling. Either you're going to scale because you have 10 ROAS, for example, and you're going to go to 5 ROAS and you keep scaling to see the limits, but you know that your ROAS is going to drop, or okay, you're not going to maintain 10 ROAS, but let's say that you have 2 or 3 ROAS, you're going to keep scaling with other creatives. Now that I think of it, I have some videos and some case studies, or the 1 year case studies and stuff. As you can see over there, I'm scaling while I'm maintaining the same ROAS. At that point, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that it's because I'm doing different creatives and all of that, and that's why I'm able to maintain the same ROAS while I'm scaling. Now, with this ad account, which is smaller, I actually understood it. It's like when I used to have my own e-commerce stores, that I would see that if one ad set, for example, it started optimizing because it was getting a sale in the morning, then I could see that for all the days it would continue getting sales in the morning, but then at this point I wasn't spending a lot of money. I was just spending a small amount of money, so I was getting 1 or 2 sales per day on my ad sets. So at that point I realized that the hot pockets are being formed and all of that, but a lot of times on smaller ad accounts and on smaller spends, you are seeing things that it's very difficult to see on bigger accounts and big spends in a lot of campaigns because they're just hidden. But when you know them, now you know them, you are going to be able to spot them also there. And now we can see that again, we are having, okay, a little bit more sales, but still 21 split it between 3 campaigns now this time, okay? And it continues like this because I was stubborn enough not to understand. Do you see how obvious it is? Over here, we're having again this sales split, 22 sales again, 6, 6, 10. It's actually crazy when you see it, okay? We have 18 sales over here, okay? And let's go to the last 7 days. Over here, we have 22 sales again. Let's continue on the next month, okay? So let's go from 24 to 1st, no, 24 to 1st. We see again 22 sales. Let's see when I'm going to actually realize it and actually do a change. 11. At this point, most likely I closed one of the other campaigns and I was left again with 2, but still it's giving me the same results. 16, we're having a slower period over here. It's totally fine. 20 sales again. Let's continue. 21 sales again. At this point, it's just even like this. It's 10 and 11. Then it goes purchase 3.58. So it's giving me half of the ROAS that I was getting before while I was getting. So, I mean, what's the point of you spending $400 and get 3.5 ROAS instead of spending $100 and get 6 ROAS, for example, okay? If you know that now, you're going to do it because you know that in the meanwhile, you can work on creatives, okay? Because you're doing something wrong. You don't just want to scale just to scale and losing your profitability. If you're losing your profitability, this is the mistake that you're actually doing. So let's see 30 to 7. Okay, let's see this one. So 23 sales again. At this point, we can see that it's just spread among, okay? We have 10 and 10. It's just ridiculous, okay? It's just exactly the same sales. By the way, the dominant ad on these 2 campaigns, they were different, but they were just the same angle and same everything from the same person with rearranged clips, but it was exactly the same. So you can see that it's so spread over here, blah, blah. Now, if we go to other months over here, we can see that we have been able to actually do more campaigns, getting the same results again and again. So let's go over here from Monday to Sunday over here. So here we're getting less sales, but it's also a period which is slow because it's the August. Still over here we do see the split of the sales, we just don't see the split of the same amount of sales because it's a slower period. Let's talk also about this one now that it's recovering, and then I'm going back to just one campaign and look how it behaves. It behaves like it's giving me again the same amount of sales with better ROAS. Okay, so if this is not proving to you that if you're not going to do all the things that we're going to discuss later into the theory, then there's nothing else that's going to convince you. So start spotting it inside your ad accounts, know what it is, know that you can work on it, know that you don't have to overspend if you're not getting good ROAS over here, and that you can maintain these ROAS instead of having cannibalization. Know all of that and work on how you're going to be able to scale while you're maintaining your ROAS. And this is something that I have done again and again and again. There are references below with the case studies that you can see that I was scaling, proving to you that you can scale while you maintain the same ROAS, because I was using completely different creatives along with good management and stuff on bad periods and everything. But this is for another chapter. I will see you in the continuation of this chapter so that we can discuss how you can break now this daily loop and how you can keep having better results, and what are the things that you are missing and you are having this cannibalization. Let's fix it.